What is good, everybody? Welcome back to That's BS with me, Brian. Episode 10. We're double digits, so we're basically super duper official now. But let's get into it this week. Before I get started, be sure to please like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to keep updated with all of my new content. Hooray! So first, I would like to note the current fit. Some of you may have noticed that I wear like the same 4 shirts. Every time. I've elected a polo this time. I want to class it up for the 10th episode. But the reason why, if you're asking, because my mother told me, Brian, please wear something different because people are going to think you don't bathe or wash clothes. And I definitely bathe weekly. But the reason why I wear the same shirts is because they're my Brian's Fat shirts, which I've come up with this weird thing to where I will not buy new clothes for myself when I get fat, which has happened twice for extended periods of time because I don't want to, and I quote, enable myself to continue down this road. But what really ends up happening is I wear like the same 4 shirts, and then Mercedes talks a bunch of shit about me and saying I can't let you out in public because you embarrass me with your lack of style. So if you're wondering why I wear the same 4 shirts, that's exactly why. But we're working on it, and the keto update is I have lost more weight, but if you've done keto before or you know about it, you know there's like a weird plateau where you like skyrocket a ton of weight loss, then you plateau, then again, then plateau. So I'm at my first plateau, but I'm down to 242, which is still disgusting by my standards, but it's better than we were. So I'm officially down 7 pounds. So that's nice. I'm also looking quite thin today, because I was out in the field for my normal day job and I haven't eaten all day. All I've had is about tall Starbucks black coffee and then a little bit of another one. And that's all I've eaten. So I'm a little famished, but at the same time, I'm looking real thin, model-like. So you're welcome. And also if my forehead's glistening, it's because I've got some product in my hair and it's making me extra shiny this time around. So, subscriber update for this week. Let's check it out. I'm loading the application. 62 subscribers. So that's super awesome. Definitely went past the goal. I think I set the goal for 60. And my dad was telling me, because I saw him today actually, that a couple hours after I released the video of when I almost had a heart attack from the crazy heat of that chip and or explosive diarrhea and or explosive vomiting, I easily hit the 60. So that's awesome. Welcome new subscribers. I appreciate the love and support. And we're getting inching closer and closer towards the century mark for subscribers. So that is really cool. I think me saying that's really cool is probably one of the most quotable things that I say. Not that it's quotable or notable, because I'm a poet, but I think that's one of the most common things that I say as a response to things that excite me. So sorry for beating that dead horse several times with the same jargon. So I'm sure some of you are wondering, Brian, was that chip just as hot on the way out as it was in? And the answer is yes. My asshole was lit on fire going to the El Baño after that chip. A perfect example of this is moments after I did this podcast. Also, the following day, I was going to see a customer for my day job that was many, many moons away from my home. So I was driving, and if you're familiar with Washington State, I was driving 405 north, and about Bothell, like right after the Seahawks practice facility in Renton, my chest started burning, which if you've ever had this, you're probably going to know where this story is going. But essentially my chest started burning. Then it went to my stomach. Then my stomach went to my pelvis, and that's when you know you're fucked. And then my pelvis went to my literal asshole. It felt like at any moment my butthole was going to open like the Panama Canal in Team America World Police, and it was going to be quite explosive. The worst part was I was on the center lane of the freeway. I was having such a hard time not shitting my pants that my face went immediately pale. I started sweating, and then I had to focus on some breathing exercises. I literally, in stop and go traffic, closed my eyes in fear that I was going to shit my pants. I was going to try to merge over, but you know that point of no return where you're too far past the exit and there's no way you can get off unless you want to off-road it and see what you're made of? Or I was going to pull off on the side of the freeway and projectile out of my asshole onto the median. I decided not the best move. I was also wearing brown/tan dress pants, so I was thinking, if I shit myself, I might be able to play this off, but the smell would definitely be jarring. But fortunately, with the breathing exercises, I was able to push forth, not my feces, but push forth down the freeway and was able to get off. And I found, and if you are familiar with Washington, like I've said a couple times already, if you're familiar with Washington, Bothell is a pretty nice area. That being said, I absolutely demolished the Fred Meyer bathroom off the freeway. So I apologize in advance. Well, I guess not in advance because that was last week about this time. I apologize to you, janitorial staff of the Fred Meyer in Bothell, for me dropping a Hiroshima type bomb in your bathroom. But thank you so much for saving me from shitting my pants. Since we're already on the topic of expelling fecal matter, I would like to talk about my lovely wife almost shitting her pants this week. Hers was not because she ate a fiery chip. I still don't know why she almost shit her pants. But it definitely happened to us both this past week, so that's how you know the love between us is real. But essentially, this was on Saturday, I'm thinking. But a couple of my buddies and I that I grew up with, some of the guys from the camping trip, if you've been a subscriber for the past month and a half or however long I've been doing this, we've been doing a lot of COD, Warzone, dropping in, quads, come at us, bruh. But I'll get into a little bit more of that later. But anywho, we were playing Call of Duty like all day on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And then my wife finally comes in between games and is like, I'm really bored. And I said, okay, fine. So I was like, hey guys, I got one more game in me, then I gotta go. So the second I'm done playing, I go to Mercedes and I say, hey babe, what do you want to do? I know you're bored, let's do something fun. She was like, I don't know, which is the worst thing ever. I hate that as a response because then you feel obligated to come up with one. It's kind of like when you ask your girl, hey, what do you want for dinner? I don't know. But then you pick something and she fucking hates it. And I've already tried, because I've seen it on like a meme or an Instagram or whatnot, the guess where we're going. And she goes, I know you're just trying to get an answer out of me, figure it out. So that doesn't ever work for me. So I'm always just fucked. But I was like, okay, let's get in the car. Let's drive somewhere. She loves TJ Maxx. If you know us, you know that we don't call TJ Maxx TJ Maxx. It's TJ Yaxx. And we have a song, TJ Yaxx, Yaxx, Yaxx. So if you and your partner or just you yourself love TJ Maxx, welcome to the TJ Yaxx Club. No, we don't have the credit card because that would be lethal. But we definitely love a good TJ Yaxx, Home Goods, Marshalls, Ross if we're really struggling. But I digress. We got in the car. We headed over towards the shopping area that has TJ Maxx, Home Goods, all that fun stuff. And the second that we got off the freeway, this is like a 15 to 20 minute drive from our house to these shops. The second we get off the freeway, Mercedes looks at me with pure fear on her face. It looked a lot like this. Brian, I'm going to shit my pants. And I said, what? She goes, my stomach. Oh my God. And she starts like freaking out and she like grabs the dash with both of her hands, which usually she only does when WAP comes on and she starts twerking in the car. But this was not nearly as exciting. This is definitely wet ass panties with doo-doo. So not the ideal situation. So basically she or wet ass poopy would be a better one. Wild and poopy. Anyways, she put her hands on the dash and she was like, oh my God. And I thought she was, going into labor. But that definitely wasn't the case because she's not showing at least. But she was telling me she was going to shit her pants and was freaking out. And I could just see the pure fear on her face. I tried to replicate it, but it definitely didn't do the justice that if you saw it firsthand. But anyways, she goes, we have to turn around. I was like, we just drove 21. She goes, Brian, we have to turn around. So I immediately get right back on the freeway. We go home, we're on the freeway, and she goes, I'm not gonna make it. And she looks at me almost with tears in her eyes, basically being like, I'm gonna shit in your car. And I said, are you gonna shit in my car? She goes, don't be mad. And so I was like, I'm not going to be mad because A, this is hilarious, and B, don't shit in my fucking car. But fortunately, we made it home, and the second I pulled into the driveway, she like jumped out while the vehicle was moving and briskly walked, butt cheeks clenched, into the house. We're remodeling the bathroom downstairs, so there's no sink, but we just put a toilet that self-cleans. I'll give you an update on that once I have enough mileage on it to let you know if it actually cleans itself. But anyway, she runs in there and like an asshole, leaves the door open, blows up the bathroom. I'm in the kitchen, and I'm measuring something because we were going to go look at furniture on Sunday, which I'll get into in a little bit. But I had a tape measure, and I was kind of measuring some stuff out, and then a pungent odor just uppercutted me, Roy Jones Jr. style, in the face. And I said, what the fuck is that? I turn over. She's laughing, looking at me from the bathroom. I literally take the tape measure out, and I pass it all the way to her. And if you follow her on Instagram, I think it was her Instagram, or it could have been her Snapchat, she posted a video of me doing this while she was taking a shit, and I could smell her turd from 23 feet away. I don't know if the Guinness Book of World Records people listen to this. I don't know if that's a butthole stench record, but I definitely wasn't pleased that I was, measuring stuff in the kitchen, as well as thinking about dinner plans, which she wasn't going to partake in because she was partaking in some other plans, you know what I mean? But still, I was proud, disgusted, amazed, all of the above. So enough poopy talk for this podcast. I know we've gotten into it a little bit more with with the keto and us almost shitting our pants several times and the spicy chip. But I think I'm going to move on from this topic for the foreseeable future, hopefully. Who knows? Funny shit happens, pun intended. That was a terrible joke, but we're moving on. So I know I said I was going to bring up playing Call of Duty. Me and my buddies have really been getting down on the Warzone. I haven't played in a long time. I did play, this is going to really sound nerdy, Season 4 because I wanted the Captain Price skins, which I got them all because I'm badass like that. But anywho, we started playing again, and I was a little rusty, but now I feel like I'm kind of back in it. But some nights I'm like absolute ass at the game. But I'm a big sniper guy. Thermal scope, come at me, bro. I'll fucking snipe your ass. But anywho, well, we keep getting top 10s, but we can't get that dub. It's really, really shitty. But at the same time, the new update that dropped today, I'm recording this on the 20th, is the Halloween one, and it looks pretty dope. But I've had a super long day, and I was in the field all day for work, so I haven't had a chance to drop in with the boys. But I think, based upon our group text, they've been going in pretty hard this week, or we have, but today. So I'll have to check in with them and see how it is. If you don't know what the update is, it looks pretty badass. It is bringing Jigsaw, I think. I've never really gotten into the Saws, but I think Jigsaw's in it. Michael Myers, a couple other big time horror movie for this Halloween update. And there's also zombies out in the Warzone, and it moves it to nighttime. So that's pretty cool. So it'll be a nice change of landscape. But the reason why I bring up COD really is because me and my buddies have been going in on it, and the voice chat that we have is fucking hysterical. And if you're into, video games or anything going on with the video games right now, you've probably heard that PlayStation had an update that they're going to be recording all the voice chats. Myself and my buddy Archie are on PC, but then David is on an Xbox, and then our buddy Jeff is on PlayStation, and he gets in the chat. So we're pretty much fucked if they record all of our stuff. It is absolutely hilarious, and I keep saying every time something really funny happens that we need to start streaming because A, we're decent enough to watch, but the conversations that go on are hilarious. And Archie always plays his fucking recorder. He's very artistic and has a lot of musical talent, but he knows that when he plays recorder, it drives me fucking insane. And conveniently, my mic, which I have a really nice Corsair mic, but for some reason, it won't allow me to speak. The microphone doesn't work a lot of times. I have to go into the settings, and I just found this out. I got to disable it, then enable it for it to work. But a lot of times when I'm trying to figure that shit out, until this last time, which I did figure it out and now can dial it in, they would always see that my mic dropped, so I couldn't say anything. And then Archie would always go, or David would be like, "Hey, Brian said he wanted some recorder. I see it in the group chat." And then it's the most obnoxious, annoying thing ever. But Archie, if you're watching this, I do appreciate your musical talent. And if you play that shit again, I will come to your home and give you a big ol' hug. I was also saying earlier that Mercedes and I went to a furniture store. I think I mentioned it, but if I didn't, we went furniture looking this weekend, or at least we thought I was just going to be looking, but we ended up buying a dining room set. And I feel like that is one of the many boxes to check when you know you're getting old, because you get joy looking at furniture or appliances. For example, whenever I go to Best Buy, I no longer beeline it for the televisions and just look at all the beautiful screens that I could purchase. I go straight to the dishwashers and the washing machines and the ovens, and yeah. So this is my kind of excitement. We're looking at getting new appliances eventually. We have great appliances versus our old house for sure, but we want to get things that match. I'm very OCD with stuff like that. Mercedes has a lot of different visions with how she wants our kitchen to ultimately look, but I think the next appliance we're going to get is a new dishwasher, because ours is kind of dated, but we never had a dishwasher before, so I guess what's the right word? We're kind of being tools about it, and that's definitely not the right word, but you get what I'm saying. So we've been looking at new dishwashers, and the one that gets us all excited is like 38 decibels, and that means it's really, really quiet. And it also has this cool feature, which is bullshit, but it probably is cool, but I really fall for this gimmicky stuff, to where the sprayer goes like this or whatever, so it hits like all sides of the plates, like in between the slots and stuff, because nothing's worse than doing the dishes. And by doing the dishes, I mean letting the washer do all the work. And then you take them out, and then there's still shit on there, and you're like, fuck, and you try to get it out. But this one, like, it goes like this. So it's going to, like, do a bunch of cool stuff, I think, hopefully. But that's the one we're leaning towards, and it's really, really quiet, so that's kind of nice. I don't really hear or mind our existing one, but it's white, and we want to do all stainless steel. It's like we have a white microwave, white dishwasher, stainless steel fridge, and then stainless steel stove. But the cool thing is our house is, and I guess is the right word, but I didn't know, is plumbed for gas for a stove, because we currently have electric, which blows, but the gas is where it's at, and that's what we had in our old crack house, and I definitely miss it quite a lot. But I'm looking at the stove again, and well, it's a stove oven, I guess, and I have a Traeger, which is like the best purchase ever, but I have, sorry, my wife, the Baja woman, just let the dogs out. Hoo. But the oven I want to get, it's a double oven, and it's like a really cool way that you can like slide it in and out, to where it's like one big door, but then you can either take out like the middle where like a normal like wire rack would be or something like that, but you can slide it in to where it separates it, to where you can then do different temperatures, obviously, and then the big door opens like a small way, so you can access that one if you would like, and then you can do, man, I'm really making this sound way more complicated. It's a double oven, but it's cool because you can take the thing out if you wanted to do like a turkey or something large. So that's pretty cool, and that's how I know I'm old as shit, is because I love that feature. Also, I always fall for the gimmicks for the washing machines and dryers. The one I've wanted for the longest time, but then I realized how stupid I am, and talking to my dad today about it, and I've talked to Mercedes about it quite a bit, is the washing machine that has either like the extra small batch washer on the bottom or on the top, and then the dryer that has like the steaming rack or the quick dry rack on the top. When I saw that for the first time, I was like, babe, we could totally just like throw socks and underwear in here, or if like something happens, or like the dogs, when they get dirty paws, we can just take their towels and put them in here. But then I just realized, or I could just do a load of laundry and be clean in my 4 shirts that I wear. Or I could just throw the shit in the dryer instead of needing to dry 1 shirt and pay an extra like $500 for this feature that I'm going to use like twice, when really I could just throw that bitch in there and then we'd be good. But I always fall for gimmicks like that. But I think the washer and dryer we're ultimately going to go to. We have a great one right now, so we're probably not going to do it. But in the future, it's one that's like massive, to where you can do like a full king set in there. Man, I'm old as shit. But you can do the full king bed set in there with your like duvet cover, with your comforter, with all the sheets, all the pillowcases, the whole nine, and even the mattress cover in there at one load. So it's pretty awesome, and I'm excited about that, because one thing, living in the crack house, our first home, we often had issues with our washer and dryer, to which we had to like replace one and then get them fixed and all that shit. So I was often venturing to the laundromat, and the laundromat is not that bad. If you've never been to a laundromat, then you're missing out, because their shit is huge, to where you can literally do your entire life closet. At least, well, Mercedes is going to say that's impossible because she literally has another room in our house for specific clothes and closets, and she's adding onto it. But we have a walk-in closet. You could literally take all those clothes and throw it in one wash. That's an exaggeration, but pretty close at the laundromat. And then the dryers there are freaking huge. So that's definitely something like a weird thing to be excited about, I guess. But this is kind of proving my point that the older I get, the more old I feel with like dumb shit like this. I think I got off track like I usually do when I was talking about furniture shopping. So we went to, if you're familiar with the store, the Old Cannery, which is the shit. It's the best store ever. I'm based upon the name. I'm pretty sure it was a cannery before, but now it's like this massive furniture store. And when I was a little kid, so in the ceiling, they have a bunch of train tracks where these really cool trains like run through it. Now they're really smart. I never thought about this as a child because I was stupid. And now I'm a stupid adult, but I thought of this and it was pretty smart. They have candy advertised on the train cars. So when a kid's looking up, they can be like, Mom, Dad, it's only 25 cents for a gumball or something like that, which is genius marketing, and they're attacking them at a young age, which I like. But it's a really cool furniture store, and we were just going on Sunday just to take a peek and look and see kind of what was going on, and if we wanted just another me being old thing. I couldn't fall asleep the other night, so I was just on their website looking at furniture to fill kind of the space in our house, and also add stuff to here, the podcast room, because I want to do a little bit of a poll after this little bit and see kind of your guys' vibe and what you think would be a better setup for a guest situation for a podcast. But anyways, we ended up buying not a bedroom set. We already bought one from them, which is super dope. But we ended up buying a dining room set because we were originally going to get a table that was like 115 feet, which is fucking huge. It had 2 leaves in it. If you know what that is, you're cool. But we ended up just getting one that can seat 4 on the sides and then 1 on each end. But yeah, we were really excited about it, and we just thought we were going to look, but of course we bought a dining room set. So that's cool. But the thing I was saying about in the podcast room, so this is a pretty good sized room. Obviously you can't really tell from the camera, but the measurements I took were, it's 82 inches by 16 or 100 and wow, words are hard. It's 82 inches by 165 inches, which equates to, I'm usually good mental math, but it's been a long day. I'm tired. So it's 15.16 feet by 13.75 feet. So it's a decent sized room. I've got a mini fridge over here, my desk with my gaming PC and this podcasting PC. I've got this lovely light in front of me, as you can tell by my hand. The camera, I've got an ultra wide monitor. It's a pretty cool setup. If you guys are interested, I can do a thing. My cable management sucks. But then we have another desk that we're going to get rid of or give away to somebody. Not get rid of, but we're going to give it away to somebody. And then there's just like a couple boxes of stuff to unpack that we just don't give a shit about it. Really, it's just like little knickknacks and cords and whatever. But ultimately what I want to do, and this is my thought, and this is where I want your guys' opinion. So I've seen podcasts like, the Joe Rogan Experience, where they'll do like the long table and they'll have a couple mics on it, and they'll have like desk chairs. I know Impulsive does that, and it's pretty commonplace for that format. Two Bears, One Cave. Shout outs to Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer. I don't know why I didn't say his last name. But anyways, they have it kind of like in a table setup. But I really like Andrew Schultz's setup to where they do the 2 chairs and they're kind of facing each other, and then these mic stands, these booms, are coming off of a coffee table. So I really like that comfortable vibe, and it gives a couple different shot opportunities, and it's kind of like a wide, so you can see a lot of the different body language, whereas in the Joe Rogan, it's kind of like this perspective, and sometimes, the profile or whatever, but I feel like there's so much more to be interpreted and or seen or whatnot with body language, and this is kind of showing. I got a communications degree in college, which is the most applicable degree ever. That's how I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do with my life, but I love the class. It's minored in leadership. I highly recommend it. I really know how to talk to people, and that also means I talk too much, I just really love people, so I really thought that was a great major. I digress like usual, but I learned a lot about different ways to communicate and proxemics, and knowing like what situation where you seat yourself and things like that, and just different studies of like body language and haptics and all that fun stuff. So I think it would be pretty cool to give a perspective to where you can see the whole body to see like different like little nuances to the way people interact and things like that. But I'm thinking about getting a sectional and then having it set up back here. Obviously, I'm going to get another camera. I'm currently using a camcorder that Mercedes bought me last, I think it was, sorry, that's my dog. I've been gone all day, so he hears me, and he's like, I want to come see you, Papa. But she bought me this camcorder, and I have a cam link from Elgato set up, so I can use it as a webcam. But eventually, I want to get like a mirrorless camera like a lot of the big shots do. But that's a couple $1,000s to where I can get a better view, I guess, or perspective, and then also higher quality to where I can do this in 4K eventually, so you can see all the imperfections that my body has to offer. But I think that'd be a cool perspective to have, like a sectional to where multiple people could sit at it, and then get a coffee table, and then have the mic boom set up on that, so it's like very comfortable. People feel safe to talk about whatever we want to talk about, and it would be pretty open, and you could spend a lot of time sitting there shooting the shit. I've also thought about, which shout outs to Robin at Old Cannery, because she was talking to me, because I'm one of those weird people to where I give very little bits of information, which if I just gave them the full story straight up, it would be extremely helpful. But I gave her a little bit, and she goes, okay, so what do you want this furniture for? And I basically said, so I started a podcast. This is what I'm doing. This is what I want. She goes, oh, that's great. Basically, you should do like this. She's an interior designer too, I believe. So she was really helping me figure out what a great setup would be, which one of the other options is to get like a long bar table, like with stools and things like that, but then set up the mic booms on opposite ends and then one in the middle, so you could have like 3 people there, and then do like a similar perspective towards like one wide shot, and then get a couple other cameras to get individual like these kind of shots, like the so that you could get certain reactions, and then hopefully when I get an editor, they can really like dial in the video, so that, and it's edited a certain way to where if somebody says something obnoxious, you can get like the reaction on people's faces. So those are the 2 options I'm thinking. So either A, getting a couch and then making it super comfortable and having the mic set up off of a coffee table, excuse me, acid reflex kicking my ass, or do like a long bar table setup to where people sit at different situations, and not necessarily desk chairs, but like more that kind of vibe, like individual chairs instead of a couch, relaxed feel, I guess. I don't know. So let me know in the comments what you think. That would be super cool to get some feedback. I'm starting to get more comments, and people are sliding into my DMs on Instagram, letting me know how they feel about the podcast and things like that. So I do appreciate it. I really hear what you guys are saying, because there's only 62 of you. But at this point, well, like I said before, hopefully we get into the thousands and then the millions, and then this becomes my everyday gig kind of thing. But I appreciate the feedback. It's been really helpful. And then I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. If it's negative, I'm not going to be mad at you. I just want to know so I can improve, because, if you don't know what you're doing wrong, then you're going to keep making those same mistakes and it'll become a habit. But yeah, that's the 2 vibes I'm going for. Let me know your thoughts if you think that's good, either in the comments, slide in my DMs, shoot me a text, tweet me, give me a high five, whatever. Talk to me in person, call me, whatever, text me. Let me know if you think that's a good idea, or if you have a different idea that you think would work better. In the spirit of feedback, I've gotten a ton of engagement from you guys, and by a ton, I mean all 62 of you, and not even all 62, but I've gotten a lot of responses, or at least conversations started from my last podcast where I ate that spicy chip, and I appreciate it. Thank you. That being said, I have some of my buddies, shout outs to my COD Quad crew. Yeah, I'm a rapper too. Fire. But I gotten some feedback from them saying that they'd be down to do the Hot Ones challenge, which, like I said before, I've done, and it was difficult, and I did it with no water or beer or whatever. I had a buddy do it with ice cream, which was pretty funny. And when we got to the Da Bomb sauce, he was like shoveling Ben & Jerry's into his mouth. Shout outs to you, Zach. But I've got a group of guys that are interested in doing it. Not only my COD crew, but some of my buddies I've grown up with who went on the camping trip, and I want to reach out to some of my groomsmen as well. Shout outs to you, John and Newman. You guys are in California, so you may be able to zoom in, but the only downfall is you'd have to buy all the sauces, because it's like $110 through heatiness.com for the season. I think it's 13 of the hot sauces. So I was going to cook the wings on my Traeger. Shout outs to that's one of the best purchases I've ever made besides my engagement ring. But it's one of the best purchases I've ever made. I love that thing. I could do a whole podcast on how amazing Traegers are. Shout outs to the Timberline 850 crew. But I was going to cook the wings. We are going to get the sauce, toss those in gallon bags, and then we are going to do work. And I want to have it set up in here or in my kitchen or something like that to where we can film it, and then we all do it. And shout outs to you, Jordan. I know that in the group chat, you were like, I can't do heat, but then after many, many minutes, days, hours of peer pressure, you've committed. So now that this is on the internet, you are obligated to participate. So real excited for that. It should be pretty fun. And then you'll get kind of a glimpse into some of my friends, which are most of you watching at this time in my young YouTube career. But get a little insight into them and then see kind of the funny stuff that I have planned. Because for some reason, people love people going through pain and when they're eating stuff. So that should be exciting. And I don't know when we're going to get that figured out yet. I want to get a head count so then I can then order the sauces and then we can go from there. I must say my advertising on Instagram has definitely heated up since the chip, since the one chip challenge and whatnot, because I'm starting to get targeted ads for that. And not just the chip, it's for a bunch of weird shit. Like one of them, and I'm sorry, company, if you're watching this, I don't even know your company name, so I'm not talking shit. I just think that this is weird. It's like hot nuts. And it comes in like that small, like little like paper book, like on a holiday you'd get it with like jelly beans, and it was weird. It's not like an advent calendar, but there's 5 little windows, and it has different levels of hot nuts, to where the last one is allegedly the same heat as that chip or close to or something. I don't even really remember. I just thought it was strange. I almost bought it just because I was like, this is going to be easy as fuck. But I decided not to, because then I realized why. And there was rules to it, like you eat them in a row, but it was very interesting. But it kind of makes me think about, and I'm sure some of you have experienced this, when you have like a conversation with friends, or you'll just even have a thought pop into your head, and then you won't search this on any search engine or anything whatsoever, or even purchase something similar to where like it'll track your card data. But after you talk about something, think about something, or whatever, you start getting ads for it. And it's super weird. Obviously, I did the chip challenge and did like #1chip challenge in my Instagram post for this and on the YouTube video. So that makes sense. But there's so many times when I've thought of random shit, never voiced it to anyone, and then Instagram starts selling me ads, or not selling me, trying to sell me shit by putting ads on my feed. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I heard that the new 2K21, the basketball game, they have ads in the loading screens. So instead of being able to like edit your rosters like you used to do before, like change your lineup, it does ads that you can't skip. Like we're getting closer and closer to a world that is run more and more by the corporations that aren't already, tinfoil. But it's so weird how they're able to track that. Like I'm sure they listen, because my phone is always like right next to me, because I write some stuff I want to talk about on there. Is just like notes in between recordings before I edit it. And so I'm sure that my phone's listening to me right now, and it's like, we should advertise to this dude. Hot Ones stuff. I'm going to look on my Instagram like right now. Let's see if it advertised me Hot Ones, because I haven't really searched it or anything lately. Okay. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, because usually it takes... I've been looking at TVs a bunch lately, so that one makes sense. Let's see... No, nothing. Oh shit. Oh no, it's Grubhub. For a second I was like, no way. But yeah, nothing for Hot Ones. I don't even like Chipotle. I got Chipotle on here. But I mean, I like Chipotle, but I'd rather go to La Bonita in Auburn. Great taqueria. It's so good. And it's also a little market. And you can get Malta there. If you know what that is, then you know what's up. But yeah, that's always creeped me out. I'm sure that's happened to you guys before, and I'm not down for it. I do want to say I did hear about, so I was talking about Pokemon cards last week. I I figured out the PS1 thing, PSA, PS1, whatever it's called. So it's the business is called PSA or what? Jacob, you always comment on these videos. Correct me. I'm sure you already have thought about it or you have for other things in this video. But you send it into them. He said it's $20 a card to get rated. My buddy in California from college, he has an insane, shout outs to you, Nick. He has an insane setup of Pokemon cards. He's got like 10 Charizards, I swear, like a million Blastoise, Venusaurs, like all this shit. And he's about to make some serious Skrilla. He's getting them graded. He's sending a list out there. I don't have that crazy of a collection. I thought I did. I have a Chansey somewhere, but I can't find it. But Mercedes and I were looking at, I think it's Marvin. It's like a card auctioning site. I don't know if that's like the go-to, but you can like put in, is it a Charizard? Is it Shadowless? Put the card number in there because there's like a 6-102, or I think it's based upon the like series or printings of the cards. But I like did like a rough estimate, and I'm sitting on almost like 10 G's worth of Pokemon cards, and I don't have any like super crazy. And this is if they're like in mint condition, which I think they're mint, but I'm not the professional card grader. So I don't know. I'm down to send them in to get graded, but then at the same time, I'm afraid they'll get a lower score than what I want, and then I won't get the money out of it. I don't really know, but I just wanted to give an update on that. I still think it's crazy. Like a dude bought that Charizard for $200,000, and then I think Logan Paul recently bought a Charizard first edition, Shadowless, blah, 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 blah. I'm a huge nerd, for $200,000. And it's like, man, I wish my parents encouraged me to be a total nerd more. And I'm not shitting on nerds, by the way. I'm a huge one. I love Dragon Ball Z, love Avatar. Anime was super cool as a kid. I play video games a shit ton. Got that PS5 on the way. What's good? But I just couldn't find a better word for it. So I just wish, I remember my parents would always tell me like, go outside, which I love baseball as a kid. It was great. But it's like, if I would have put more time into Smash Bros or Star Fox on N64, we could be in a mansion by now. But they held me back. I was a prodigy. I talked to my dad about these Pokemon cards and stuff today, and we were just talking about how it's so crazy not realizing the tangible and fiscal value of things in the moment. Like Mercedes and I always talk about like, man, if I could go back to 16 with all the knowledge I have now, and we were still going to get married. Yeah, we're cute like that. And we were still going to get married, and things would have panned out the way that they were supposed to, blah, 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 blah. I would totally do it because I would invest all my money in Amazon or in Google or Tesla, or not just stocks, but just like other things, like getting in on the ground floor or realizing the trend that's coming ahead. But then you think about the different, butterfly effects of if you jump on, then it could have messed other stuff up, blah, 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 blah. But we just talk about all the time, like, man, I wish I would have known. I wish I would have known. I wish I would have known. And it's so crazy and hard to try to catch that wave. And if you do, you're freaking hard. So I think hopefully by doing this podcast during all this crazy pandemic stuff, I'm going to ride this crazy wave eventually. I know it's going to take a lot of time and hard work, but I think I'm putting in some good work now, and it's only going to get better and better. I feel like this podcast, this is my third one where I feel like I've really been myself. I'm not worried about not necessarily timing, but I'm being more authentic. Like this is the first time I haven't done, I've literally reshot the same kind of conversation or point literally twice, which before it's like 30 or 40 times. Like I've worked on the intro so many times before because I wanted to say hi the right way or things like that. So I think this is becoming a little bit more natural. So hopefully naturally things start to ramp up in terms of my exposure and the channel growth and things like that. I know we're very infinitesimal. That's the right word right now. But I definitely see that the sky is the limit, like my boy Wheezy F Baby says. So hopefully I can ride that wave and do great things with this. But it's just crazy looking back at we were talking about sports cards, and I guess my grandpa is sitting on stacks of like Ken Griffey Jr. rookie cards, and he's my favorite player of all. Well, okay, tie. Ken Griffey Jr. and Jackie Robinson are my two favorite baseball players, probably athletes ever. So I'm hoping that someday, Grandpa, you hook me up with those Ken Griffey Jr.'s cards because that's my boy. But they're rookie cards, I guess. So he's sitting on stacks, I'm sure. He used to have a 1952 Chevy Bel Air. I think that's what it is. I don't know if that's a model year. I'm a big car guy, so if I fuck this up, then I'm probably going to get roasted. But anyways, he had a mint 1952, which nowadays that would be worth oodles of money, but he bought it for probably nothing because of inflation back then. So it's just crazy to see how over time things just gain so much worth versus like Pokemon cards. I remember those packs were like under $10, I think. And then now one single card is worth as much as a house, unless you live in Washington, because the housing market here is hot. But it's just crazy, and it's trying to think like what would be collectible in the future. Like what right now that's current, that is new, that is fresh would be collectible. I think about this all the time with cars. Like the great thing about old cars, especially like the muscle car area here in America, is, the Mustangs, the Corvettes, the Camaros, the GTOs, the Hemi Cudas, the Superbird, which is one of my favorite cars, Plymouth Superbird, shout out to you, one of my favorite cars of all time. There's only like 1,000 left in the world that are drivable, I think. At least that's what was the stat I heard like back in early 2000s. But stuff like that, I get it. There isn't a lot of tech in there, but there's a lot of power in the engine and improved aerodynamics and like racing history and all that stuff. But like cars nowadays, you think a Tesla is going to be like worth its weight in gold in 20 years? I don't know. Do you think a Ford Explorer? I don't know. Like Broncos, their resurgence of Broncos, and Broncos you can get it, like a Gen 1 Bronco is worth a ton of money, especially if it's restored, or a Gen 2, even a Gen 2. Like it's crazy how cars carry value, but I kind of get it for the older ones because they're so unique. There's not a lot of tech. They're mints. But then stuff now, the technology is like so quick. Like I remember life before CarPlay, but if you had like a doubled in or some sort of screen that was like super badass, but now it's like standard in all cars. So is that gonna carry weight? I don't know. It's just interesting to me how stuff like that works, and I would love to get some future Brian insight now so that I can start stockpiling all that stuff so that I can be super rich in the future. But that's the risk you take with a lot of stuff like Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin at first was like everybody got on it early, is like loaded now. Now everybody who's on it, it's like crypto's weird to me. But it's just interesting how to grow wealth like that. And some people just are super smart and you got to risk it to get the biscuit, and it's all just kind of a lottery, which I always sign up for the Publishers Clearinghouse. So I'm hoping this month I get, $1,000 a week, or what is it? I think it's $7,000 a week the rest of my life. That would be a pretty sweet gig. Then I can devote all my time to this. A lot of the stuff today was a little bit all over the place, but thanks for riding out with me. Please hit me up in the comments whether you think the option A or B for the podcast setup, the couch or like the long table setup, is what you would prefer to see. Or if you have any other suggestions, let me know. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable and confident in what I'm bringing to the table for this. You can tell because I keep talking with my hands. I'm getting my body more into it. It's more of a natural presentation of myself. And I'm, like I've said before, I have no fear. I have no shame. And 99.99% of the time, I'm never going to see people again. So I just kind of always be and do me. Obviously, this is a little bit different because this is going to be on the internet forever. But I am really excited of how I've been evolving with this. And I know it's still fresh, but it's crazy. I'm already in double digits episodes. I know it's only 10, but that's still really exciting for me. I remember not even a year ago when I was thinking about doing this and just being like, should I not? And then now that I've pulled the trigger, I feel more confident than ever, not only in my personal life, but in this, and just kind of showing myself and being my true, authentic self. Not that I've ever been, not that I've ever held that back. And if you know me, you know what I'm saying. But it's just cool. It's really cool. And this is a real dream come true for me. Obviously, the sky is the limit, Wheezy F Baby, about this. But we'll see where it goes. I'm really excited. So please like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to give me all that extra love and support that I've been appreciating thus far in this journey. Also, I wanted to say a goal for next week. Let's say 70. Let's go 8. 8 new subscribers. That would be super awesome. Close to that C note. I'm ready for that century mark to hit on 100 subscribers, which the goal by the new year is 500. Oh, I thought I was going to get through without one weird gurgle or burp or something. It's like a staple at this point. But I would love to get 500 by the new year, and then 2,500 total channel views would be awesome. That's my end of the year goal. We're definitely growing every week, which has been super duper cool, except for that one week, but we don't remember that one. But Thank you again for all the support. I really appreciate it. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay classy out there. Until next week, thanks for joining with me. Love and appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys later. As my boy Tyga and Chris Breezy would say, deuces.